if you show me yours. Okay.
So one fun element that I don't know how it will impact the podcast, but I feel that people deserve to know if you're here for the first time.
Oh, yes.
On I'll Show You Mine If You Show Me Yours, the Mags Gans joint that we often do. I wish that's what it was. This is the first time we've ever had a guest.
Yes.
Just in the room while we're podcasting.
Just right over there.
They're not going to speak,
No.
I don't think. I think they've been restricted to absolute silence.
I mean, they can pop in, but they're playing Elden Ring, so...
They're playing Elden Ring?
Yeah.
So when I say they, we're talking about your significant other, your husband, your spouse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they joined us for today's double feature.
Yes, because we watched these movies together.
We did.
Because we're adorable, really.
I know. I want to do this more often. This is great.
This is fun.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing so far about the whole day is I was like, Will, are you sure you want to sit around while we do the podcast? Do you want to play any video games? They were like, I don't know, video games. I don't get that interested in them. I'm like, okay. And then they were like, but do you have Elden Ring? I was like, do I have Elden Ring? Welcome to hell, my friend. So they're playing Elden Ring right now, which means we're all having a treat, really.
Really?
Yeah, we're all having a treat.
This was fun.
This was very fun.
This is really fun.
This is very fun, but we've gotten way ahead of ourselves. Welcome, if those of you who never listened to this podcast, don't know why you chose today.
But welcome.
But we're happy.
We're happy.
Yeah, who says we're not?
Yeah, we get really defensive.
That's right, I do. Yeah. Who says I'm not fucking happy?
But we just watched Sense and Sensibility, so
we
that's
there was a lot of emotions there. Yeah, they really bled us dry like Marianne's veins.
My God.
Yeah, they really did. But we're again way ahead of ourselves. Mags, what's been happening? Give us the deal. Also, don't censor yourself because your significant other is playing Elden Ring.
Oh, I feel
do not
more
do that.
emboldened.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I feel like you could use an audience. I feel like
usually you're my target.
That's right.
My victim.
Okay, great. What you been up to, Max?
I feel like, this is kind of like the wrapping up year time.
100%.
Which I always really like.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
organizing. So this is the time to, reorganize things.
Yep.
Get things ready for next year.
True. Do you do that?
Yeah.
You get stuff ready for next year?
I calendar.
You calendar?
Yes.
Okay.
I calendar. I get everything in place. I buy all the things I'll need, like pencils.
Like what, groceries? Pencils?
Yes. Like literal school supplies.
How many fucking pencils are you buying?
Oh, well, you need at least one pack.
You're using pencils all the time? For what?
Yes,
What are you using
work.
pencils for?
Oh my goodness. I have so many systems to do things.
I am thrilled. This is thrilling me.
I have pencils because when I take notes on like a draft that I'm working on, I do it in pencil.
You handwrite
Yes.
notes?
Yes, I handwrite notes. So either I erase them or if I take them in pen, I will make sure to have a specific color of highlighter to highlight it when I have completed the note. Your eyes are telling me everything that I
I'm terrified by this idea. I'm doing most stuff in Google Docs. That's as organized as I get.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So wait, are you handwriting your scripts? Are you writing? Okay.
No.
So you'll print the scripts out.
No, I keep them digital, but I will I will handwrite my notes on my own script.
So you gotta wait. So I need this clear. I'm sorry.
Yes. No.
So on your own script, so like you have a sketch pad or something.
Yes.
You're reading it and you're taking handwritten notes.
Yes.
You don't do it on the.
No.
You don't like do a PDF edit or anything.
No.
Is it why? Is it therapeutic or something?
A little bit. Something about it. I like my brain likes the separation.
I see.
Like on screen is the script, which is now, we can mess with it, whatever, copy whatever.
But that's in that world.
Yes, but that's in that world. And then my notes upon that script are in a different world.
Separate world.
Separate world.
They may never meet.
They may never meet. Yeah.
Unless the conduit betwixt them agrees.
Yes. Yeah. I guess also when I handwrite things, and this is a thing people will tell you, but it's not true for everyone. For me, when I handwrite them, it's like it almost, I memorize it pretty quickly. So like when I'm rereading my script, I'll remember notes that I'd written about it because I handwrote them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's, I think, why I end up storyboarding more than even having clear drawings.
Sure. Yes.
It's because when I've drawn them, I know the shot a little better.
Yes, totally.
Like it's not uncommon for me to never look at the storyboards again after I've drawn them once.
Right.
Like
but doing that one time,
it
like
puts it
can,
in my brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It puts it in my brain. Okay.
It's like a different version of that. And kind of like after the fact. Yeah.
That's interesting. That makes sense to me. So you buy so we got to the bottom of that. So you're buying all your next year's pencils.
Yes.
For your notes.
Buying pencils. I organize my email to make sure that all my labels and everything
So you're making new labels every year?
Making new labels. Or, I mean, I like the system that I have. I guess I'm just making sure that I have stuck to it.
You're fucking precious. That's what you are. You're fucking precious. Look at you.
I like it.
You really are.
I do.
Just like what a precious little lady you are.
I have a lot of meetings, and I take handwritten notes about meetings.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll forget everything that happened.
Like, so do you not retain it? Like, you don't retain interactions and stuff?
I used to not think that I didn't until I tell people about my systems.
You used to believe that you were good at it.
Yeah. And then I realized, I think I just have had these systems in place for so long that
I've compensated.
I've compensated.
I've leaned on the sketch pad.
Absolutely.
What are you doing with the sketch pads when you fill it up?
Just get new ones.
But what are you doing with them? Are you storing them?
Oh yeah. I have a desk and it has every place for everything.
Okay.
But then I also have a drawer that is systematically organized.
This is amazing.
My mother, when I was very little, I would not clean up my room, and I remember
I believe this.
My mom, just like close to tears, being like, "Why won't you put things?
Why are you such a slob?
Yes.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?" And I was like, I don't get it, because if it's just going to be messy again. And then my mom, she's a brilliant mother, was like, okay, well, instead of cleaning, we will organize. Everything will have a place so that when I tell you to put it away, you know where it is. And it was like a key unlocked my brain. And since then I have been a serial organizer.
She played the first song from Radiohead's Kid A, and you were like,
yes.
Yeah.
It really, she like unlocked a layer of my brain that I didn't know that I had. Yeah.
All right.
So,
have you gone to any Christmas joints? Any hoedowns?
I guess not Christmas, but we went to a few Thanksgiving,
Okay.
A few birthday in the mix.
Yep.
We have a couple coming up. Yeah, trying to squeeze in friend time for sure, and like the coffee dates, yada yada.
The coffee dates you're roaring with those, no doubt. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so things are fine. Things have reached a Yuletide catharsis for you.
I love organizing so much. So I think when it gets to the end of the year, I do get really excited.
You got hyper dorky about this. I'm like, oh, okay.
I know.
We've hit a rich vein here. Okay, that's interesting.
What about you?
Great.
What about
I had one of my dearest friends come in and join me for some of my teaching.
I had so much fun.
That's right. Well, the audience has no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
So they may be familiar if they've listened to this podcast before with the fact that I teach film in a film school.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is I teach specifically directing. To teach directing means that I bring students who've never worked with actors and have them learn to direct actors.
Yeah.
And so I'll bring in real actors and have them do the scene and then tell the students, okay, now it's your turn to direct them, right? So I brought Mags in for this, which was very fun. Did you have fun?
I had so much fun.
Okay.
I had so much fun. I will say the university undergrad that I went to, the major complaint from any film student that graduated from there was that there's no class like this.
Yeah, the class is great, and I didn't create it from scratch, so it's not. I'm not a genius or anything, but it's good for the students. Just have to work with actors, or you don't know what you're doing.
I mean, but also you can see the
light turn on.
Yeah, light turn on, synapses connecting.
Yeah. It's also fun because I never got a single minute of comedy training in film school. Not 1 minute.
Right.
Like they showed comedies from time to time, but they never went into it as a theory.
Yeah.
So that means like a percentage of filmmakers are basically never learning to make the film they make.
Right.
They're doing it on their own, but they're not getting any theory on it or anything.
Right.
So like I'll get, not a lot, but I'll get, like a couple students every month who clearly are comedians.
Yeah.
They don't even necessarily know they're comedians.
Right.
But it's like, I can see them. It's like, you're the comedian. I see it in you. And it's fun because they'll like, you know, something will click for them. Like, and they'll have an idea that they haven't had before about, oh, I could do this. Like, yeah, that would be funny. You know, that would be funny.
You always, I mean, part of the reason we became friends was your wonderful presence on set at Cracked.
Thank you. It's very sweet.
Directing anything when you were on set was wonderful and a breeze. And I could tell you were in control, which is what any actor wants.
Everyone needs that out of a director,
needs
right?
it.
Right.
But you're a great comedic director. You have this like...
It's fun to mess around with stuff. Also, like, I feel like the fun thing about teaching film in college is that it's college. So like I'm not going to treat them like kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there'll be stuff that's like a little bit naughty about their idea and they're too afraid to pursue it.
Right.
So I'm like, well, let's do this. Let's do the naughty thing. And they're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like they get excited about that, you know, like that kind of stuff's fun. And I think the comedy instincts always want to go there.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, so Mags came in. That was fun. Hopefully you'll do it again the next time I ask you, which is really all the time. You can do it really whenever you want.
I'll do it. I also love.
You might just have a new gig.
I love kids, and I also love working with kids. You know, and it's like I'm just, you know, I have less of a way less of a job than you do in the moment.
But it's fun. Yeah,
but it's fun. Yeah.
So that was fun. Mike and I are very close to finishing the script that we like. You know the one. You read it, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's better now.
Yes.
It's definitely better.
I mean, you were already working with some great.
Yeah, we felt good about it.
Great raw material.
So I have a friend who I've been working with who I think might, like, I actually, this time I have a few, like, places it might go. Just a couple places it might go.
Well, it's it's offering a lot to the table, and it's offering a lot to the genre that it is.
I hope so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I told you, like, this is the first script I read in a long time. You know, I'm very close with my college friends.
Yes.
And it was the first thing I read that, like,
felt like college.
Yes, or like reminded me of those friends, you know.
Yeah. I think, I don't want to get in the weeds with it because the audience will be like, can we read it? And I'll be like, no. Get out of here. Are you a film executive? Then give me a ring.
And if you want, then call Adam.
No, we just don't have it out for the public yet.
Right.
So that's been fun. I'm also finishing a personal script finally. That I don't even know if I've told you anything about it, but it's going to be done. The draft of it will be done.
Great.
And then I started another thing that we haven't talked about at all. And that thing is I was asked to produce a documentary. So I'm doing that. Just like a little bit, not a lot. Like it's like a 1 day a week kind of thing. It's not a lot.
Right.
But they brought me on after they'd done what I'm going to call about 3/4 of the production.
Okay.
To basically like structure it.
Right.
Like they need like, how do we tell the story? Kind of. Not that they don't have that. I don't want to give, like, they definitely do. But that's sort of primarily why I've been brought on. And I think they have something actually quite good. Like, I really like it. Like, it's not, it's not yet going to be like, it's not Tiger King.
Not everything needs to be that. Yeah.
Right. It's not Tiger King. You know, but I think it's a really nice little, like, it reminds me a little bit of Errol Morris, like that kind of a tone.
Yes.
In my dream version of it, you know? Yeah. And this guy who's directing it, who's a friend of mine from film school, he's grown a lot.
That's cool.
And like this story is very mature. And it's nice to see him take it on. And he's got a real sensibility for it. And it's very sweet. Yeah, it really warms my heart, actually. Like, in a way that's like, this is fun to work on and I don't have to direct it.
Right,
you know? Like, it's hard for me to get invested in a project when I'm not directing it. But this somehow...
That's how you know it's there's a spark there.
The combination of things this time. Yeah. That's, combination of things.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, I don't have any other things to report, really.
Yeah.
And we've done 14 minutes, so people have already quit.
I mean, they're telling us to shut up.
They're like, who cares about your scripts?
About your scripts.
Just talk about the movie, you asshole. So it's time, therefore, to thank those people who are grumbling at us, our producers, our favorite of the grumblers.
Yes. Well, I like to think that they like
you. Of course you like to think that.
I know.
If I may do so, they do enjoy my company. These are the people who joined the tier that we have on Small
Yes.
Beans called the Show Me Producer Tier.
Yes.
Show me your tears.
A lot of
thing we're
perks.
going to be doing today.
Oh my God.
So these are the heroes who, because they join that tier, they get to tell us what topics
Yes.
that we should do.
Yes.
Vote on the topics that we offer them for each episode. And they get a special greeting from us. Those greetings commence right now.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you
wanna go?
so much
Yes.
to a teen Campion Mason.
ECM.
That's
I'm trying to think if there's
a
something in
famous ass
there.
name.
Oh yeah.
That person owns a football club or some shit, right?
Wow. Yes.
That person's got like silverware with his initials or her initials.
Oh my
Etienne?
God.
Is that a guy?
I don't know. I've never seen him before in my life. That's a
Okay.
good guess.
Yeah.
Feel free to correct. Oh, also, one of the perks is that you get our email, and you can email us anytime to correct us, to say hi, to suggest a topic.
Anytime you can correct me.
And tell us how to say your name.
Yeah, that would help. Most of you have chosen not to do that.
Yes, and we do bring it up
And
pretty
consequently,
often.
I'm pronouncing your names like a serial killer. I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying. Taking wild, awful stabs. Okay. But speaking of which, thanks to Math Demigod.
Yeah, he's killed some people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a
Absolutely.
demigod. Oh
This
my
guy-
God. Isn't that their whole thing?
I think
They can
most
kind of
of their
just
things.
do whatever.
It's
and
sex and murder mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's killing dividends and shit.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
If he's a demigod of the math quadrant of the universe,
right,
he's
yeah.
like killing functions and stuff.
Slaying 'em.
Hey, maybe take a shot at calculus. Never really cared for that whole branch
really?
of the one. I hated
kinda
it.
liked
Of
it.
course you did.
Yeah.
Monster.
I know.
Okay. Thanks to Driftless.
Thank you, Driftless.
That person's beautiful.
Yeah, not a killer.
No, the only one I'm sure isn't a killer.
Yes, and don't
Yeah.
ask us how we know that.
Please don't ask me.
Please don't.
Thanks to Evan Fineout.
Thank you, Evan Fineout.
God, every time I think of his name, I think "fuck around and find out," which is the joke we did the first time.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, we done it.
Yeah.
And I don't have a new one for you, Evan. Other than I definitely think you're on surfboards.
Oh, sure.
I'm always imagining
Or
him on
makes them.
surfboards. That's what I mean. His image is on a surfboard.
Yes.
He makes
yes.
surf gear.
Pardon-moi. Yes.
Pardon-moi. Like just a bust. This person's bust on a surfboard.
Oh my God.
Getting waxed.
Getting waxed.
Yeah, putting sex wax
And
on
someone's
it.
like, who's that? And it's like, oh my God, you
That's
don't know.
fucking Evan Fineout,
Yeah.
asshole.
Stick around and find
Watch him roll that barrel, asshole.
the rails.
right.
We've left it.
Yeah, that's the best joke we got for that. You want
yeah.
to thank our next patron?
Thank you, King Donna.
That's your favorite.
I know. I
You
like
love
it.
King Donna.
I will serve at the feet of King Donna anytime they ask.
This person inspires a no kings, no tyrants call from me.
Yeah. I know.
I do not acknowledge
your
this
defiant
person's
nature,
monarchy.
which I love, and I don't ever want to go
am
away.
defiant.
I love it.
I'm
love
having to
it.
live with it. I realized.
I love it.
Yeah, I
I
know,
think I
you're
saw
sweet.
that in you. Very,
I don't think of myself as contrarian, and yet I prove that not true all the time.
Well, because some contrarians are, they're almost, it's like a different flavor. You have a flavor on it that is very pure and honest.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
don't like to. I don't enjoy like everyone thinks this. I'm gonna think that.
Yeah.
But I'm
Conflict for
definitely
conflict. It's like, no.
skeptical of anything we all agree is
Yes.
settled.
Yes.
Like no.
Right, which I like.
Yeah,
I think that's a healthy amount of skepticism.
It is what it is.
You know.
So hopefully you're liking it because that's what you're getting out of this old bear.
I do.
Anyway, thanks to Jeff Beef.
Thank you, Jeff Beef.
This guy, I just like see him hanging in a locker. You know what I mean?
In a locker.
Like he's just on a fucking hook.
Yeah.
Maggie walks by and he's like, "It's me. I'm Jeff."
And he's skinned.
Yeah, that's right. That's like something out of Saw,
Swaying
but
a
he's
little bit.
greeting you.
Yeah. Welcome. Sign in, please.
You're starting a real haunted mansion situation.
Yeah.
It's very cute. I felt like skeletons should be dancing in that
I
comment.
have it on the brain for a project that we didn't even talk about.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk
Are we going to do that
tonight.
atheiist thing? Is that still happening, or is that in
Yes,
the back
I've been
burner?
very
Okay.
preoccupied with this other thing, but I am
No
excited
guilt.
to talk to you about.
No guilt.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll talk about it. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much to Brock Berkner.
Brock Berkner.
Brock Berkner.
Brock Berkner.
That person feels like they're in the middle class in every way. Just ultimate middle class name.
I had there was a family in my hometown, similar name-ish, but they were the pig farming family. They raised
that's
pigs.
not where I thought this was going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every single time, someone will graduate. We'll get a pig pit. And we'll call them up, and we'll
Every
take
time they graduate, they buy another pig pit. They're like, we got to invest in the pigs. We got to double down on all the pigs.
A different family would have they would buy a pig from the pig family to roast on a pit.
The choicest
Yes.
pig is chosen for the
precisely.
graduation.
When I say that my small town is small,
That's
my
incredibly
hometown's
small.
That's
Like, so you're living in The Witcher or some shit.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like you're living in a local town.
Yeah. Every time I release a single detail about my hometown, the looks
Sounds
on
wonderful.
people's faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, right. That's the kind of farming. It's like, oh, people do that still?
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. I used to go to the town fair and see their.
But fairs are still like, people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see you running a tavern in a different life.
Oh, for sure.
You'd be a killer tavernstress.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I would maybe need bigger tits.
Do you? Well, that's fixable in our day and age.
In our day and age, but back then, it wouldn't
sure.
really be.
Back in time, but then, yeah, I guess
People make fun of me 'cause I
breasts are
was
part of
skinny,
the
but
tavern
that
industry.
happens. I know.
But isn't that movies though?
That's true.
Isn't it
That's
more
true.
movies?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. My sister, she would maybe be she'd be the in-house, and maybe I'd be behind the.
No, are we talking about sister or sister?
Sister.
Okay, your
Yeah,
sister.
Yeah. She's
bosomy?
curvaceous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is bosomy not an appropriate word? Am I allowed to
Oh,
say
I think
that?
so.
Okay.
I mean, the way we talk about each other's bodies is heinous, but because we know each other and.
Oh no, she's got sick
I mean,
curves.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I don't recall that fact about your sister, and I guess I'll
Mm-hmm.
hope it impresses itself upon my memory the next time
Oh my
I see
goodness.
them.
I found out that within the next year she'll probably be engaged, and I am I was so excited.
That's
but
cute.
also, she's gonna look amazing in a wedding dress, just
Sure.
like.
I mean, everybody with. You know what? I'm retracting the beginning of that. I'm just pulling right out of the back.
you know, I try to set her up with every single one of my college friends. So
and just didn't work out, huh?
she dated a couple of them, but
They flunked out.
they flunked out.
She's Top Gun. They weren't ready for it. They weren't the best of the best.
You know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This just seems like an appropriate place for you to plug your stream with your sister, right?
Yes,
Because you're doing a stream with her, aren't you?
absolutely.
Like every Saturday? Isn't
Yes,
that right?
you popped in the last one.
I popped in at the very end,
The
right as you
very
quit, and I was like,
end,
"Mag, you have a thing," and it was like,
know.
"That's it." She shut the stream down.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
But yes, we do every Saturday. We'll be more consistent in the year. She's still in school, so every once in a while we have to work around it. But yeah, we do Sister Saturday stream.
Yeah. What is it? How would you
yes.
describe it?
So it is us returning to the things that we loved to do in our childhood, which was arts and crafts, cooking, and playing video games.
I'm playing
So-
specifically Stardew Valley.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what we are now. We'll switch it up, but yeah, we do one of those three things every Saturday, and we talk about a deep-ish topic.
A deepish. So I haven't gotten to the deep dish.
Oh,
Yeah.
you should come to whatever. You'll
Okay.
fit right into the.
Okay, great. Well,
we
sure.
get pretty. People get like.
Well,
oh,
we're doing
shit.
this.
Yeah,
I thought this was the clown hour.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, well, we keep it light and fun.
Great. I'm all in on that idea. So far in that I'm thankful to Luke Andrew.
Andrew.
Luke Andrew.
Thank you so much.
This guy's a protagonist in like a standard sci-fi story.
Oh, sure. I was going to say like a saint, but they're kind of the same. That's kind of the
yeah.
same thing.
Well,
like a
it's like two
protagonist
saints'
and
names.
Oh, it is actually.
Yeah, Saint Luke,
specifically.
Saint Andrew. Yeah, that's why he came to it.
I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks to Bro J.
Thanks, Bro J.
Okay, I don't know why, but like I always think of Bro J as being excellent at cross country skiing.
Oh,
Just
sure.
like I don't know. Maybe it's like because I think the J is like a ski under his name. That's weird. I don't know why I think that.
No, that either.
Yeah, but Bro J, cross country skier.
Yeah.
Like, you know those people that ski with rifles?
I've never seen
What are they
that
doing
in
with
my
that?
life.
Bro
What?
J, explain to us why you ski with a rifle.
And explain. I've never. I mean, I believe
It's an
it.
Olympic event.
What?
There are Olympic events where people ski
What?
with rifles.
Where does it go? What do
Where
they
do
do?
they shoot?
Are they shooting?
I don't know. I've never seen them shoot one. I think they just have it. I think they just have it. Yeah,
What?
I do. I'm putting that. All right. I don't know what you're
Is
doing.
cheerleading still not in the Olympics?
No, that's bullshit. Yeah. If anything, if Bring It On taught us anything,
Yeah.
it's that cheerleading should be in the Olympics. Thanks to Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks to Adam by the Birch.
Thank you, Adam by the Birch.
That name demands to be called out every time.
Yeah.
We're not gonna. Thanks to Stephen Asarian.
Thank you, Stephen Asarian.
Thanks to Nicholas Fabian.
Nicholas Fabian.
This guy was born in like a candy shell. You know, you know what I mean? Like just like some people are born normal, and those people are born like an M&M.
Yeah.
He just came bursting
You know,
out
I
of
was
that.
kind of thankful for it because you know, just not a fun experience.
Thick candy shell.
Yeah.
And thus a sweet boy was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I think of it.
Aw.
Yeah, you like that?
I do.
Weird mythology.
Yeah,
You're
I like
welcome,
it.
Nicholas Fabian, or maybe we are. Anyway, thanks to Fart Sandwich,
Wow.
who I was not prepared to
No,
thank.
no. I saw
was not
it.
ready for that.
You reading that and the recognition between your eyes was a nice little theater moment.
Dave and Tom have a person who's got a name that's like literally 50 syllables. You know, it's dumb.
Yeah.
And I say dumb, it's very funny.
Yeah.
But I'm never ready for it. So every time I've ever had to sub on that podcast and give the name, it's like, oh boy. Oh boy. We hit the hill real hard. It's way more than that.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. Like Mary Poppins is like, she can
got
fuck
nothing.
off.
Yeah, she can fuck off,
She
Mary
can
Poppins.
fuck right off. Thanks to Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks to Adam Duncan.
Adam Duncan.
Adam Duncan. That's everybody's best friend, right?
I mean, my best friend is a Duncan. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we might have said that before.
I'm sure we have. I'm sure
Creepy.
we have.
Adam
Bring it up
Duncan,
a
you're
lot.
creepy. That's change of destiny. Thanks to brain in a slightly larger than average jar.
I like that.
Sure.
I like it.
I mean, you understand what the person's trying to suggest,
The
right?
brain is small.
Right. Or well, that's the question. Is it the brain that's big or the jar that's too small?
And
You know?
it's a glass half full, half empty situation.
Yeah, or at least mostly, overflowing full.
Right,
That's what
right.
they want you to believe.
with the brain.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Does it
interesting.
include the stem? That's my question. Please email and let us
You
know.
have to have a stem.
And the brain stem?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, sure.
Don't you?
I mean, if he's alive.
That's
yeah.
right. When you see like cartoon brains, they don't include the stem.
No, they don't.
Yeah, what are they?
No.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Except in the chocolate episode of SpongeBob.
You ready?
What?
Never seen any SpongeBob. Not 1 minute of SpongeBob. SpongeBob is like your Radiohead.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
yeah.
I introduced Will to SpongeBob.
I am regularly shamed at my job for not having seen SpongeBob.
Really?
That seems to be like that is the one thing everyone beneath 35 has seen.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like I understand why I understand Pokemon and I know that it sucks.
Yeah.
SpongeBob seems to be good,
Yeah.
and it seems impossible that it's as good as everyone thinks it is.
I'll fix you.
Okay, all right. Great. Because it's a crazy blind spot, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should end this gratitude session, though we'll be back, by thanking our very dear friend Sarah Sexton.
Sarah Sexton.
You know, I've been playing a video game that takes place in a Abbott. You know, like an Abbott. Yeah, it's a murder mystery in an Abbott. Yeah, a thing that
I would love that.
right. So you've heard of The Name of the Rose, right? You've heard of that. So in the 70s or late 60s, there was a novel written by Umberto Eco called The Name of the Rose.
Oh,
and the idea is it's a murder mystery, takes place in an Abbott. It's fucking awesome. It's really good. They made a kind of average movie about it. It's not a great movie.
Yeah.
The concept though is like so good. And so they made a game about it this year called Pentiment. Probably by the time this comes out, my Game of the Year episode will have come out on Isme or on One-Upsmanship. So it was on my Game of the Year list. And there was a character who, like, for whatever reason, Sarah Sexton popped in my brain. I was like, oh, that's the thing that I've been saying Sarah Sexton is. This lady.
Should I play this game?
Yeah, I don't know. You might like it.
I like mystery. I like
the
mystery
mystery
games.
is very light. It's really a little more like exploring this town.
Okay. I like that
it's
too.
a very you might like it.
Okay.
But it's like you're playing a medieval wood carving. It's very 2D.
Oh,
It's very 2D. All the dialogue is like written out and stuff. Like you might love it or you might hate it.
Right.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know where you'll land. Anyway, we've done a good 29 minutes. YouTube has long since quit us the way that we should have long since quit Twitter, but haven't yet.
Haters.
Because we're monsters.
I mean, you know.
Let's talk about the movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the movies.
Yeah.
Mags, can you remind us
Yes.
what is the podcast we're doing today?
So we are doing today's theme. Movies that we are embarrassed made us cry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're not that embarrassed, probably.
Probably not.
But
These are the first two that popped into our minds.
I can already see. Well, so first of all, it deserves to be said. We came together today.
Yes.
And watched both of the movies.
Both of them.
And we still cried at both of the movies.
Yes, I cried during both.
I actually cried a little bit at the end of yours, which I was surprised by.
Yeah, I was
very
surprised I cried during yours. I mean,
it's a really fucking good movie.
It's a really fucking good movie.
I preach about this movie all the time. You want to start with yours? You want to start with mine?
Yeah, so why don't we go in order?
Let's do that. Oh, good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Maggie, your movie that you were embarrassed you cried about was The Notebook.
The Notebook.
Can you please summarize The Notebook for us?
Oh my goodness. Well, spoilers. But it is about a notebook. It is about a couple, very old couple, and it's this old grizzled man who comes and reads to this old woman who has dementia. And lo and behold, The Notebook is a love story, and it is their love story.
Yeah, which we learned about 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah.
Your partner made a very keen observation, like right at the early part of the movie. I was like, oh, that's right. And it was that it really feels like fried green tomatoes.
Yes.
Like it feels like exactly like fried green tomatoes.
Yes.
Like that's kind of the setup.
Absolutely.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't, most of the movie's not when they're old.
Right. So most of the movie is the story that the guy's reading in the notebook of their love story. It's in flashback, and it's Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling, both babies.
Yeah.
Both like kind of their big...
This is their most rom-com or rom-dram, I guess, that they ever get.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I don't know if either of them ever did a movie like this again
I don't
after
think
this.
they couldn't... I mean, they did,
Yeah, usually when you're doing romantic lead stuff, you do a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Gosling hasn't, and neither is Rachel McAdams.
No. I mean, it's hard. I mean, people loved it when it came out. People still say it's like, one of the, speak about it as if it's Dr. Zhivago, which, no, that's a movie I'm not embarrassed that I cry during because it is, you never seen it?
Never seen Dr. Zhivago. I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's Dr. SpongeBobo to me. I've never seen it.
Well, we'll do that on the day where it's like films I am not
Films
ashamed,
I'm ashamed that you haven't
during.
seen. Oh, that's kind of a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed you haven't seen it.
Oh,
that's a pretty good one.
Okay,
That's a pretty good one
for you.
We'll put that. Yeah, I'll shame you.
Yeah.
For money, sure.
Oh, sure.
Maybe that goes on next month's poll.
Yeah.
All right.
You can see the threads. Like, you can see the thread. You can see why women fell in love with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, yeah.
You can see why Rachel McAdams, people adore. It just like...
This is a pivot for her, though, because her first big movie is Mean Girls, which is like a year earlier.
She did The Notebook first. And then...
The Notebook is before Mean Girls.
Yes. She filmed it first. Yes.
No.
And then got Mean Girls. Yes. When it came out, people were like, I cannot believe the range of this woman. That's kind of why she took off, because it wasn't just that she was a romantic lead. She was also a comedic villain.
She was captivating in both movies.
Yes.
Yeah. She was very good in both movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a star. She deserves to be successful at this craft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Notebook.
The Notebook.
Yeah. The Notebook.
So many like quotable lines. If you're a bird, then I'm a bird. I wrote you every day for a year. Those are things that women would just say to each other in the hallways, when they're passing by each other.
Is that like your handshake? Like it's like then you knew you're part of the Wounded Hearts Club or whatever.
Well, it was more like when you want to be really melodramatic for a minute, you'll just turn to the girl and be like, I wrote you every day for a year.
So would you describe this movie as melodramatic?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I
yes,
just want to make sure that it's okay to say that. All
yes,
right.
yes.
I feel like
I don't prescribe negativity to melodrama.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Get that clear. So like I do think you got to walk us through the plot, though, because I think some people haven't seen it.
Sure.
I haven't seen it, so I guess I'm basing it on that. But
right. So the couple meets when they're young, like 17.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling coerces her into going out with him.
Yeah.
By almost falling off of a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, big risk taker.
Big risk
I thought
taker.
this guy's going to be like in an Ocean's 11 heist after that.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy could be the flip guy.
Right.
Anyway, wasn't.
Loves it. They fall in love in a very like slow kind of like, I don't want you, but I do, but I don't.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that. Is that so? Okay, this is a trope, and it's been a trope for millennia.
Yes.
Millennia.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we think there's any truth to it? Like, do you believe that this story, taking some of the melodrama out, the convention of he pressures her into saying yes, and then she falls in love with him, that's a thing?
No, hardly ever. I think what people,
hardly ever, right?
I think what people like about her character is that she is really defiant about it. Like she says no
defiant.
a lot.
She
She
does.
says she turns him down. She turns him down. She even when he's like, "But you promise," she's like, "No."
Yeah, I like that about
yes.
her. I was like,
yeah. So I think
she's pretty sturdy.
that's what people. It's a slight refutation of the trope, even though it is based on a book by Nicholas Sparks, who is Trope City.
Yeah, he's
Trope Man City.
He's Trope Mayor. Yeah,
Yeah, so there is a lot of that still in the film, but they do try to craft it where it's like you can sympathize enough with like her defiance. His like boy, he'll be aggressive, but then he'll be like, I didn't mean that, or like, I'm sorry.
He seems to he never struggles with confidence.
No,
At no point in this movie
Right.
does he ever like, maybe I don't have what it takes.
Right.
Or
He's
like, maybe
no.
I don't deserve her.
No.
Or maybe like, which that's a different conversation. Or maybe maybe it's just not going to work out.
No,
like he does
yeah.
move on, but never in a way that seems defeated.
Right.
It's always like,
right.
oh, it'll come back my way. Like he's very
Yeah.
confident about that. You know?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
that also feels a little tropey to me.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm not trying to make you answer for that. I'm just
Oh,
pointing that out.
I mean, that's part of the like, okay, if we're saying this is one of the best or like one of the best like wish fulfillment romances of like, okay, what is the most like they're separated for years. He goes off to war. She ends up getting engaged to someone else. Her parents tell her she can't be with this poor kid. There's a Romeo and Juliet
It's
backdrop
actually-
to it.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No.
It's actually, now that I think about it, it's actually a very Victorian.
Yes.
Like it's
class plays.
Yeah, right. There's a class element, and also there's the forces greater than us have kept us apart.
Yes.
Which is like more of an old story.
Absolutely.
Than exists now.
And usually those so like if you're when you grew up reading all these Victorian books, a lot of them end sad, and this also ends sad, but they do have a happy life together. Like spoilers, they do end up together. And they have kids,
but it's like happy.
And they have a
It's happy
life.
sad. It's like
we
these
don't
are
get to
tears you
see a lot
smile
of
through.
that happiness. It kind of happens in the background. It's implied that they have a
Of course, they happily ever after it.
Right.
That's how all these relationship movies go. Once they finally get together, it's like and then they do whatever. Who gives
and
a
then,
fuck?
Yeah.
And then start an Instagram account and just show you stuff every day. Yeah, the relationship.
Right.
Not all of it, but most of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to slam that. That's every one of these movies.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, so they're apart for like a good 7 years.
Yes.
So like,
and they both wrote each other off, as in, like I guess, wrote each other off as in like they're both very kind of.
They move on.
They move on. Yeah.
I had some issues with her character, but like not enough that I'm going to sink the podcast with this. But just she seemed less bummed about it. Like in the aggregate, like he took it real fucking hard.
Yeah, but that's also the feminine fantasy of like, he would be so
he suffers
sad.
for me.
Yeah. He would be so sad, and probably another guy would probably like really like if you add that comment, it's like
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
I think so. One thing that I think just has to be clear. Like, I just want to clarify a few beats.
Oh yes, yeah.
So like. They have a summer romance. That's how this movie starts. Like narrative starts between them. They're in love. She's got a wealthy family. He's from the other side of the tracks.
Yeah.
So it's not permitted for them to be together by her parents. So they basically shutter her off to some other state. He's locked there because of money. So they don't see each other for 7 years. He writes her once a day for a year. And her
while
mother,
she's in college.
while she's in college, and her mother intercepts every letter for the entire year.
Yes.
She never checks a mailbox.
No.
Ever.
No.
She does not get correspondence of any kind.
No.
So then she, years pass, World War II happens. She meets a wounded soldier who makes a miraculous recovery.
Yes, James Marsden.
James Marsden, old second place.
And this is another area in which it is a trope and also a slight commentary on the trope where like James Marsden's like super charming. Pick James Marsden for a reason. He's super charming. He's very they have a connection on screen. You see them laugh together.
Yeah, he
get
smokes.
it.
He smokes in it for sure.
Absolutely.
He definitely looks the part of guy who should be with this woman.
Right.
And he's an honorable person. He got hurt in war.
Yes.
He treats her with respect.
Yes.
He cares about her parents. He, he's not a mopey looking maniac like Ryan Gosling becomes,
Yeah, Ryan Gosling, when he is in his sad depression,
which is half the movie.
Yeah. He grows a grizzled beard. I'm looking at yours, Adam.
It's Echo Park hipster beard.
Yes.
It's in 1940 he would have been a complete sociopath.
Condemned a witch.
Yeah. They would have shot him out of the cannons. Over the Pacific or whatever. Yeah, he would have looked, and he never seems conscious of it. He just whatever.
There's some.
I'm sad. I'm a sad guy.
Right. That's the thing where it's like. We know what
it's a
girls
movie.
want now. They want that.
Right. It's a little bit like, let's make the 2004 ladies hot for this.
Yeah.
I got it.
There's a couple of moments of that are idiosyncratic, don't gel with the story.
Can you imagine Shakespeare in Love if it wasn't a 90s movie?
Yeah. Yes.
Wouldn't even be watchable.
That's a great comparison. Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's a little 2004, a little bit. Not a lot, a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think.
I would say Nicholas Sparks is very much 2004. So it's just
what else has he written?
He did a lot. After this made a shit ton of money.
Then he just kept writing shit.
Yeah. But he made a lot of romance novels.
He was a cliche for a while meaning
this is
Nicholas Sparks was the romance novelist guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, the only adaptation of his work that is I think everything else they've ever adapted has been
bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of like Harlequin romance novels, right?
Yes.
He's a step above that, but not a big step.
Not a big step.
Like Danielle Steele. Anybody ever adapt Danielle Steele?
I don't know.
I've never read one of her novels, but my understanding is that's the smutty stuff.
Right.
So his are a step above that because they're not the smutty stuff.
His isn't smutty, but it is I think years after this, or maybe soon after this, the next one they adapted was about a soldier and a girl, like Amanda Seyfried or Miley Cyrus or one of them played. It was just kind of the same formula over and over again.
When it works, why change it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So eventually she hears of him. Basically, all it takes is for her to have anyone anywhere remind him he's still a guy,
Yeah.
She's like, well, I better figure shit out.
Right.
And they reunite. They have sex in the place where they almost had sex when they were younger.
Right. Well, first it's I do really like the scene when they first meet up after those years because it's so awkward.
It's so awkward.
And they're both just kind of sitting there and they both don't know what to do with the other person.
I mean, you could tell it was awkward because both Will and myself could be in what the fuck is she doing?
Yes.
What are we doing right now? Why is she doing this?
Yeah. But also the other reason why she does go, which I forgot to say during it, is, she was like, promise me that I want a white house with blue shutters and a wraparound porch. And she sees the house and it is a white house.
And he's made
with blue shutters and a wraparound porch. Which,
he field dreams her is what happened.
Yes. That's actually probably the best. It's a field of dreams.
But
the
for a
romance
relationship.
Version. Yeah, for a relationship.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they bone.
The bone?
And it's, I think this bears mentioning. It's not just a superfluous comment. They really liked each other.
Oh,
There was real chemistry between them.
We kept saying, it's nowadays, casting is very tied up in a lot of things. It's very rare to get this much pure like chemistry with two leads.
They were into each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it smolders a little bit on the screen. That's part of why it works, I think.
And they have fun, when they're
they like
laughing
each other.
They're
fun.
like each other. Yeah.
They enjoy being around each other. Yeah, which is really nice. Like that's you can't fake that really. It's hard to fake it. People do. You get like a 95%. But there's something about that last 5%.
Right. It's almost like her and James Marsden. It's almost like the 95%. Well, they're laughing. They're having fun.
Correct.
But it's not that last.
That thing that you can't fake. That can only be there if it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have it. Absolutely. So they have a pretty hot love scene for a PG-13 movie.
Oh my God. Dad context, the first time I saw this, I was 13.
Oh, so for you, this
13.
was like parts of your body came to life for the first time.
When he first, spoiler alert, like early on with her kids, he like grabs her tits. He does,
yeah.
And it is, oh my God. That was probably the first thing I'd seen like that.
It's a pretty firm grab too.
Yeah.
It's not
into it.
She was into it.
Yes.
And it was it was not a tenuous move.
No,
he was claiming that land for Spain.
Yeah. And she was like, have it.
Yeah. She was open for conquest there, to use a terrible metaphor.
Yeah. So was that. And then later in the movie, they smoldering sex scene.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of sex that, when girls are like daydreaming during class, like that's what they're thinking
What
of.
class are you daydreaming?
Every single one. I was a space
You're not
cadet.
hearing a single thing.
No. I was like, when will one day someone throw me against a wall?
When will I finally have my breasts grabbed?
My will.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Which is what I assume you'll be doing right after this podcast.
I mean,
that's great. Congrats for you.
Play the cards right.
If they play their cards right. Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah. We can pretend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you cried.
Oh my goodness. I did not expect to cry during either of these actually, but I really didn't expect to cry during this one.
Because you've seen it how many times?
I actually haven't seen it since then. I haven't seen it since
this is the second time you watched it?
Yeah, this is the second time I've seen it.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's so emotional that I feel like it's just like, when am I going to sit down and want to watch I'm saying it with
The Notebook.
Right. Well, I mean, and it's part because it is melodramatic, but it's also part because it's so emotional. It's like, why would I want to put myself through that?
It's like, so this is the movie that I feel like when people think of like movies that are designed to tug heartstrings.
Yes.
This movie feels designed for that.
Yes.
Like, I mean, and the truth is all movies that are doing that are designed for it, but this one feels transparently so.
Yes. Well, even though we touched a little bit on this, the way that they portray dementia is inaccurate.
Yeah. Inaccurate in a way that benefits the movie, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is like, that is part of why it's so effective, because it's not wholly accurate, it's like it's written to.
So just to clarify, if you guys haven't seen the movie, because what's happening is they're intercutting this love story of these two who will never be together, it seems, with an older couple who we eventually find out is them. And the older man is reading to this woman who has dementia, who doesn't remember who she is, from this notebook, their story, with the hope that she will come back.
Right.
Like she'll have like the memory will come back.
Right.
And of course it works. You know what I mean? Like, so for a very brief period of time, she remembers who she is, and it's, really heart tugging. It's like, oh my God, she remembers.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then the movie's just like, you think that's a thing? And they hold their own beer like 50 times.
Yes.
They keep handing it stuff. They keep handing themselves their beer.
Right.
Yeah, they keep doing it.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, there's great moments throughout the movie, but it's almost kind of like the whole movie is built around the one moment of her remembering their story. Oh my God, I'm going to cry again.
Yeah. No, this is the good part. Yeah. You want me to do it? Are you pointing at me for me to do it? So the thing that happens is that you get an insert of this notebook after she's remembered it, and she's written in the title page, the love story of in their names. Read this to me and I will come back to you. And Maggie's choked up, so I'm talking for her now. It's, it rips your guts out. It really does. It's like, wow, it's very schmaltzy, but it's, it works. It works. Yeah.
The story of me watching this. So the reason I picked it specifically for this one was because I was watching it with my friend Kristen. She came over, and we're young girls, so we're gonna pick out a rom-com of some sort.
13, and you picked The Notebook.
13,
My
and
God.
everyone's talking about The Notebook, and so okay, obviously we're gonna rent The Notebook. Kristen, and I'd forgotten this before we put the movie in. She falls asleep during every single movie.
Oh, great.
So
you're alone out here.
I am watching this. She falls asleep within the first 30 minutes. So the whole journey of them being separated, and then the turmoil, and then the everything was happening, and I'm just alone, and she's asleep, and I'm just like sobbing for a full hour. She finally wakes up, around with 20 minutes left. I was like, oops. So
what's her name again?
Yeah, and I was like,
you're like, you don't deserve a notebook. You don't deserve one.
I cannot even recap it for you. And I remember trying to be he.
How do you even summarize it? You got to take a walk at that point.
Yeah. So her experience of just waking up to me, just
to hysterics.
Just crying and holding.
That's funny.
Holding the blanket close.
So. How do I say that? So I think this is a movie that's a little on the nose with the theme, but not in a way, but in a way that's actually worth stating, because I think this is why it is emotional. The theme is basically that love, the best kind of love, can be magic.
Yeah.
It can surpass. It can surpass what we believe is possible, and create a kind of meaning that is supernatural. Yeah. And I'm not using those terms to be lame. I really think that's what they mean.
Yeah. I mean, they open there's a theme of reincarnation, and
it's very spiritual in the sense that it's meaning to make those ties. It's some love stories are really grounded in you can be happy together. Right. Or grounded in the way society works. Right. This love story is no. It's it fucking transcends time and space. Yes. It's a thing that's rockets beyond comprehension.
It's what Interstellar thought that it was doing.
Yeah. Right. If you remove zing. If you remove the schlocky stuff from Interstellar, it's the same theme. Yeah. Right. I actually think the schlocky stuff, as you're saying, it dilutes the effectiveness of it. Yeah. Whereas I think sometimes just leaning into the sentimentality. Say what you mean. Say it with your chest. Say it the way it wants to be said. Yeah. Not as a philosophical treatise, as an experience. Right. And they deliver the experience. I think you could say, I don't want to be a dick, so I'm going to leave it alone.
The feeling of love certainly jumps off of the screen.
Yeah, and and it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's patently ridiculous in every step of it. But yet, all three of us, we didn't have a dry eye at the end. And I guess I don't want to spoil every single thing if you haven't seen it.
I know, that's why I was hesitant to know what to say for people.
I think with romance movies, though, it's not about knowing what happens. It's about experiencing the moment that it happens. Yeah. So that, fortunately, nothing can spoil for you. Right. So if you're okay with it being schmaltzy and you really want to have a have a romantic idea of what love is about. Yeah. It's a really nice evening, Oh pour a wine for you and your partner and give it a shot.
Oh God, I would not say that.
Really? I think this is amazing.
I haven't seen it since.
For a date?
No.
Oh, this is bad for a date, you think?
No.
You're both laughing at me. So I'm insane?
I think so.
Oh, really? I think this is a great date movie.
If I went to, okay, I'm sorry. It's such an emotional response.
No, great.
But I feel like if I went to a guy's house and he put on The Notebook.
Not a at my house date. Well, I guess that's the only way you could see it now. You're right. Okay, I retract that. I can retract it.
Theater. This is a movie that you watch alone. You watch it with your girlfriend. This to me, it's
That's
on
what
par
I mean.
of beaches.
It's a date with a girlfriend.
No, like a friend, like a chick's out. Yes.
So
yes.
you can't watch it with your significant other. That's
I don't
the wrong.
think so.
Then what's it? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you ever seen Beaches?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I didn't love beaches.
Okay.
It's fine. I know. I get it. It's
yeah. But I'm saying to me, those are types.
That one's like mean spirited in a way. Like,
sure.
This is the opposite of that. It's hopeful on like man, like you know what I mean? Like I don't feel sad at the end of it.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Like what else do you want for your life than this?
Sure.
These two have a happy life.
Right? I don't know. To me, this is a movie. This is a movie I'd watch alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you know what?
Like it could be a date movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm insane.
I want people to weigh in on this. I really do.
I don't want to hear a bunch of people fucking dunking on whatever.
No. I'm not dunking it. I want to know if they would take a date to this, or if they feel that this is a movie that they would only watch.
That's what it's for.
Really?
I just don't. I mean, I guess I can see the like all the girls get together like that gathering.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's designed for like the we like bonding together sad vibes. No,
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe okay. I've never tried this strategy, so maybe I won't now.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to disappoint because maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, it can't be. No. I think what at least we're learning is like. Oh, so it's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee.
We don't all agree on it. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So it's not like a horror film. It's not the equivalent of a good horror film.
Oh God, no!
Okay.
A horror film is in the hole. But that horror is safe territory. This to me
feels less safe to me. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Well, maybe it's the women I've dated because like they get really upset. Like I've dated women who get really upset during horror films.
Oh,
and I feel like they wouldn't get really upset at The Notebook. I feel like they'd be like, "It's so good," like that's the vibe. So maybe it's I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't know.
Okay. Wow. What a weird. What a strange rowboat trip we took into the geese pond.
Yeah. To the geese pond.
The geese pond. Yeah, there's a pond in this with like 1 billion geese, like as many, like so many geese.
So many geese. Too many.
There's
no
way.
They're gonna kill one.
They've
paddling.
destroyed an entire country's population of geese for this scene. Like they altered an ecosystem for this shot,
and it was worth it.
Sure. All right, I'm moving on to my movie now. All right. It's time to move on. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So I picked, and I think justifiably, I picked the Jane Austen adaptation, Sense and Sensibility.
Sense and Sensibility.
I think I've even mentioned this movie on this podcast before.
I'm sure you have, yeah.
I think this is like one of my top 5 favorite movies. I really like it.
This is a great, and this happens more rarer, but you'll still get it and it is mostly women presenting a script where it kind of is just about relationships or yada yada, and people will be like, "That's not exciting." And it's like,
I would argue this is one of the most tense movies I've ever watched.
Yeah. Everything is like a pin needle.
Yeah. It's so it's Jane Austen, which means Jane Austen, first of all, is a time period and a subject matter and a structure. It's so like Jane Austen's very fixed on what she does, kind of like Nicholas Sparks, honestly. But Jane Austen is much more concerned with British aristocracy around the colonial times or like the turn of that century into the 1800s.
Yeah.
And like how the property laws of that time make these like crushing marital situations become dramatic.
Yeah.
Like people become disinherited and their lives completely fall apart.
Right.
If you don't get married as a woman in this society, you have literally nowhere to go.
You end up at the poorhouse. You like the woman.
Dead.
You end up dead.
They always end up dead.
Yeah.
They don't there is no safety net in this society. Like things that yeah, while we still have these problems today, I think one thing is good to sit back and acknowledge is like our society has worked on eliminating the destitution.
Oh my God. I think the
on
experience
this
of
level.
most teenage girls who read Jane Austen, the lesson is like, thank God.
Thank God you're born now, man.
God, yeah.
Thank
like
God.
it's still bad, but like, Jesus.
Well, the thing that's really cool about this movie, the more times I watch it, the more I appreciate it. Is like it's from the time I can't think of many movies that are more connected to the suffering of women than this movie.
We all kept remarking on that of how
Like it's really connected to that.
Really connected.
Yeah.
Ang Lee is. I mean, I like a lot of his movies.
He's a
but
great
this
filmmaker.
Was so, oh my God.
People are always surprised to discover that Ang Lee directed this. I was surprised when I watched it for the second time. I was like, oh shit, Ang Lee directed this. And then you start really paying attention to the directing.
Right.
And you realize, oh, okay,
Yeah.
every single thing in this is masterful.
Yes.
It's really, really well made.
So well made.
Like if those of you who like want to watch it and see why it's well made, here are two things that happen the whole time that I think you can appreciate. One is edits for jokes. Like just
unparalleled.
the editing here is amazing.
Amazing.
Like when we cut out of scenes, when we don't have new shots, they'll sit on a shot for a 2-minute scene.
Yeah.
And you feel really anxious about it because you're like, why aren't they cutting? And you realize, oh, that's why.
Because we're stuck in there
I'm
with
feeling
them.
anxious and I'm stuck here.
And they're anxious. They're stuck.
Yes, exactly. There's so much little, and there's these portraits that they do all the time.
Yeah.
That really capture what life was like.
Yes.
In a different time.
Yes.
And that's the thing that gets me about this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the stories, but it's the like thinking about these people living these lives 200 years ago and just like what their lives were made of.
Yeah.
And like just the kind of suffering that existed then, like some of that stuff really gets me. Like it really chokes me up. So briefly, it's a Jane Austen movie. It's the first big American movie that featured Kate Winslet. It was sort of her big debut. Like, it's not the first movie she was ever in, but it's her big debut, and she's incredible in it. Like
incredible.
They photograph her like a painting from
my
a different
God.
time, and
It's beautiful.
It haunts you.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Yeah.
It's Emma Thompson's project.
Yes,
she's
she
the
wrote
lead.
it.
Yes.
Oh wow.
She wrote it.
What an amazing adaptation.
Yeah.
Also, like
It's a great adaptation.
Wow.
The jokes were funny.
The jokes are
The
funny.
things she added were really strong.
Yes.
It's a great adaptation.
It's great. Mhm.
Emma Thompson is great in this movie.
God, yes.
She's great in
Yes.
this movie. I don't want to say everything because I think the truth is the ending of it is the thing,
Oh my God.
But it's a
Yeah.
great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's essentially these two sisters who have different ideas about how love is supposed to work. One sister believes that you follow sort of propriety and your word is your bond.
Right.
And you don't sacrifice your
The sense. Right,
your
yeah.
honor for the sake of whims and fancy, no matter how much you want to.
right.
That's sense, and then on the other side is the younger sister played by Kate Winslet, who thinks like love is a burning thing. Like you got to chase it, you got to do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And like, fuck your propriety basically. And, they both learn to sort of meet in the middle, of course. It's a very middle-class movie in that way. And there's, they both have the wrong man and then they have the right man and then the surprises happen and all this stuff. I guess I don't want to spoil this movie. Is that okay? Do you want to spoil the movie?
No, I don't think
Okay.
I think we can totally avoid spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what chokes me up about it now. Right.
Yeah.
So
Tell
the
me.
ending, yes. The
Yes.
ending is a tearjerker
Yes.
that I think almost anybody.
Oh, sure.
You
I
know?
think everyone can relate. Emma Thompson's her internal struggle is she's a problem emoting and she keeps
Yes.
everything to the hilt.
Yes. She's the most English.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, the older sister, that's your,
And she's to use a cruel word, she's a spinster.
Yes,
she's too old
yes.
to be single
Right,
still.
right.
So like she has a bad fate in life.
Yeah.
Like her life is bad. And her life, she gets shit on over and over and over in this movie.
Does not catch a break.
She never catches a break.
No.
You want her to get a W so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
So there's that. the thing that got me crying the last time I watched this, it didn't happen today, but like it really chokes me up every time now, is the first time that Colonel Brandon, played by Alan Rickman, sees Kate Winslet playing the piano.
Oh my God.
The song that she's singing is very sad and very beautiful. And he loves her.
Yes.
Immediately. He immediately loves her. And it doesn't feel fake.
No.
If it's transfixing.
Yes.
And you see her the way he does.
Yeah. There's a moment.
So good.
In that shot, he walks in, we see him fall in love with her instantly. And then we see Emma Thompson look at him, see that too.
See it too.
She's us and and then looks at her sister and then looks back at him and is like, oh my God, like this man, like he just fell in love with her.
All wordlessly done, by the way. This is why Ang Lee is such a great director. It's all
so
wordlessly
brilliant.
done. That I don't know if I totally understand what it is about that gets me. Part of it is the older I get, the more compassion I have for Kate Winslet's character.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I had less when I was younger because I thought she was like selfish, you know, and she is selfish.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I understand like, you know, how much she wanted to control her own destiny and be happy. Yeah. You know, and
well, it's like, you know, when you're, I think as a woman, you get I'm talking years later, but especially at the time, you get two messages. One, love is the biggest thing. It is that thing that she's saying.
It's the only ideal that is attainable.
Yes, it's the only attainable idea. But on the other side, it's also what Emma's character, you know, like you're told it's what Emma's character
Dashwood.
is. Yes,
Eleanor
you have
Dashwood.
to be married to what, you know. So does these two ideas of love that do not work together at all.
No, they're incompatible.
They're incompatible, and yet you're taught both. And so this is kind of like even Jane Austen herself, like figure, you know, okay, well, if it's these two things, here's what that looks like.
How do I reconcile them?
Right.
What's the
truth here?
the dialectic of these two things. Yeah. So like, and I think some people will feel the screenwriterness of it or the Hollywood dialectic of it, and that's fine.
That's fine.
But I think honestly, the truth is kind of in the middle, probably.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And even just the way that we see the non-communicated communication that happens.
Yeah, there's so much of it.
There's so much of it.
It's one of those things where like, so I just read Pride and Prejudice, which is what let me down this kick. And it's mostly because I was like, I should be reading again. So I've started reading a little bit again.
Yeah.
And it sent me down this kick to then watch Sense and Sensibility again, which is what made me think of the topic. And there's something about seeing a movie of Jane Austen that feels like actually it's completing Jane Austen in a way. Yeah, like I don't want to say that Jane Austen is lacking something in a novel.
No, that's the medium of that's the best she could do. Yeah.
And she's one of the first novelists.
Yes.
There weren't very many.
No.
So she like really defined this format.
Yeah. And she's writing about fucking women shit.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. Jane Austen is awesome.
Yes. But I agree. She would have been a filmmaker however many years later.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, possibly. But I will say that I think film adds to her stories all the subtlety of the way people ingest and emotionally process what's happening.
Yeah.
Stuff that you get allusions to, but often they're sort of humorously summarized in her work.
Yes.
Whereas like every little dart that hits Emma Thompson's character is like, my God, let her have a break, you know? Or really like the pain that Marianne goes through.
Oh my God.
She cries her fucking eyes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, you don't want to see anybody hurting like that.
Yeah.
You just don't want to see it, you know, like it's more palatable to watch a person in a war with a war wound to me in a movie than seeing that. You know, she just heartbroken. Yeah, and I think I also, and I don't know, this might be just like telling on myself, but
isn't this all?
I mean, isn't that really what we're here to do? Aren't we here to tell stories about ourselves? No, so like I think there's something about Alan Rickman's character.
I love Alan Rickman's character.
Yeah. I feel like if I had to pick who I am in this story, I think that's the person I pick.
Yeah.
I think I'm him. Somewhere over the years I've started to identify with him. I never did before. I always found him a little, like when I was younger and I watched it, I always found him like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's honorable and everything else, you know, but I definitely enjoyed Hugh Grant more, and like I enjoyed Willoughby more. He was more fun,
Right.
And he is more fun.
He's more fun.
Yeah. But now at this age, I look at Alan Rickman and that performance and that character, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, man. I understand. I understand now. Like he might be a little too old to do what he's doing now. I think that's in the background of his mind.
Oh, absolutely.
He's in his maybe 50.
He's like, do I even deserve that? Like I don't,
should I even try?
Should I do this?
I'm too old, maybe.
Right.
You know?
And I think, well, what you said when he falls in love with her instantly, she's singing that sad song. We find out he has a sad backstory. So it's like
very sad
he
backstory.
walks into someone who is expressing the feelings that he keeps from everyone, that he holds, that keeps from everyone else.
There's that great sentiment that you hear a lot in like noir stories or like detective stories where it's like, I walked in and I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like without the grime of that, that's what happened there.
Yeah.
He walked in and he was in trouble.
Yeah.
Because like this woman is like constructed by the heavens to be a perfect second chance for him.
Right.
And it's great.
And he also doesn't even, he also sees her as it's that plus.
He absolutely respects her.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He never, ever does anything to violate her wishes.
No.
Which is kind of refreshing, honestly.
Oh my God. That's the other part of what makes Jane Austen so great is like, she's writing from a female perspective of like,
that's true.
This is what, like that's what you know.
There's something really sweet about it's awful, but there's something really sweet about the incredibly harsh propriety of that society.
Yeah.
Like they don't touch each other.
No.
They don't, like every look is calculated. Every word is very carefully constructed.
Yeah.
And like they're so keenly aware of everybody else's opinion.
Yes.
That like really any action to transgress it becomes unforgivable. So you get much more authentic emotional connections in a way between the people. Like by authentic, I mean they have a real sense of what they feel.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's when people say now, like, it's hard to find people on Tinder, it's the same sentiment. It's like,
it is hard to find people on Tinder.
Yes.
They're not wrong.
I'm not pulling that out of nowhere.
They're not wrong about that.
But it's kind of that where it's like, seeing each other as people, that is like, it sounds like you're not saying much, but it is a lot.
It's not that easy to do, actually.
Yeah.
I'm surprised looking back as on the younger me, how much I still had to learn about seeing other people as people.
Yeah.
Just kind of in general. Like I think maybe I'm the maniac, but I think we all have to learn a little bit about that.
Oh, sure.
And I like that he's old enough that he can't hold on to her too tight. Like it's like she's got to come on her own in her own time.
And not to add gender to it, but I do think a lot of. Well, we talked about Jane Austen writes a lot of awkward men who are not socialized. Like,
we were talking about that.
No one is like, here, two boys, here's how to be, and women are always in close quarters. They the stereotype, that's
the
just
men are more closed off than the women are, I would say.
Oh, that's what I say. Yes, the men, they're all they're sent away. They have, there's no sense of being stuck in a kitchen cooking.
They don't seem to ever have any intimate relationship with any woman.
Yeah.
Even their mother.
Or each other.
If I'm to believe how Jane Austen depicts it.
Absolutely.
Although I don't know if we ever see a son in any of her works, but
maybe not. Yeah.
That stuff feels very closed off.
Yes. And it's, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, but like seeing each other as people. I mean, most of my experiences dating was men seeing me in the way that they want to see women and not seeing me as a...
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. That sounds true. And I think the nice thing about Jane Austen's stories is that the entire thing is about seeing through that.
Yeah.
And like seeing who the person is.
Yes.
Which honestly, despite all the other things about their society that are terrible, that thing is good.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of miss it a little bit.
Right.
And maybe that's what makes me sad about it. Is like, I'm like, man, they at least were doing that right, I think.
Right. Or at least try. Or at least
they were
someone was writing
to do
about
that.
parsing it out. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they weren't really doing it, but certainly Jane Austen had really keen insight into that, and I think it carries.
Relevant more now than ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. I will say, for those of you who've never watched, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna give it a shot. It is a little tough to follow.
Oh, sure. Will had some questions about.
Yeah. So, so you got to pay attention to like who's who.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like surname stuff where like they say Pharaohs, but it means this guy, or Mr. Pharaohs means that guy.
Right.
So like it's not a casual movie you can just sort of like blip around on your phone.
Right. Like,
and I'm not saying it to make fun of you. Just you should know that. Or have pardon me. I'm leaving this in. How dare you cough?
How dare you? Have like the IMDb up so you know what character's what.
That might help. Yeah. I just like it's a Jane Austen novel, which means it's high language.
Yes.
Like they don't dumb the language down much.
Right.
And like they use the same surname thing.
Yeah.
That goes on in Jane Austen.
Ainley does a long way to walk you through.
He does a good job. Yeah.
But you're right. There are parts that are confusing.
Yeah, it's tough. Anyway, the thing that makes me embarrassed about it is, men are not supposed to cry at Jane Austen.
Yeah.
But man, this one.
I actually read.
I think that's maybe an old idea, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to know more of Ben's feelings about Jane Austen, especially her male characters.
I think that that's interesting. They're never very. You're never close to them. Like they're always being. It's a very female gaze in that they're always being filtered.
Yes.
And analyzed.
Absolutely.
I will also say this is by 10,000 miles my favorite Hugh Grant performance.
Oh,
he is incredible in this movie.
Incredible.
Yeah, like and again another thing that Ang Lee does that's so great. He puts him in this costume where he has this high collar, and the high collar looks like it's going to literally garrote him.
Yes, yeah.
It's going to garrote him. It's so tight and it's perfect for his character.
Yes.
He looks incredibly uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
It's the most like inarticulate Englishman thing ever, and it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah, he will never have a role that's as perfect as that.
No,
yeah, wow.
When Will and I are first dating, Will is a somewhat shy person.
Sure.
And I think they never women, liked
women go
Will.
after the old Will.
Yes, and Will was always like, I don't get it. Like I'm quiet and weird. I'm like,
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't got the sexiest. What's up with that?
I don't get it. And it's like there are Jane Austen's entire, every single book is a quiet guy who's like weird and
the Ryan Gosling type, right?
Yes, exactly.
Ryan Gosling is this quiet type, so you caught yourself a Gosling.
There's definitely a trope of that.
Yeah.
So Shy Guys, you absolutely have a chance.
Welcome aboard, Shy Guys.
Welcome aboard. You got a lot to offer.
Okay, let's see who of our remaining producers are Shy Guys. Because we gotta thank some people.
Shy Girls always. Do you like Shy Girls?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that like a type as Shy Guys
Girls?
Yeah.
It's just that's not a category that's getting boosted up in any of the mediums where personality types get catapulted.
Right, which is weird. I love
It's not weird because they don't talk about themselves. You know what I mean? That's why it's happening.
It's true.
It actually makes a lot of sense.
I like shy people.
Thanks to notorious shy guy, Timothy Schreiner.
Thank you, Timothy Schreiner. You've never
talked.
talked.
Such a shy guy. Yeah, that's right.
Never talked.
He's only written his thoughts in like Sanskrit on papyrus or something.
Give them to a little bird to deliver.
On the other end of that delivery, Nikolai Glecker.
Thanks, Nikolai.
That's a name, man. That name.
Yeah.
Can't improve on it. Yes, I know. These are all fake, probably. This guy's name probably like John Dibbs or some shit.
Sorry, the one John did listening.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thanks to Cake Meister. Thanks to Jesse Clay. Thanks to Rye Wyke. Yeah.
That's fun.
Again, I think of that person with a scythe. Just because I was,
white scythe.
Yeah, he's like out with the grain, just like harvesting with his bare back.
Right, or he is the Undertaker.
Yeah, that's his part-time job.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and then by that I mean he is the actual Undertaker from WWE.
Yeah. Someone's got to do that too.
Yeah, somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
Until he retired, or did he? Dead man always comes back. Thanks to Sean Bibinet.
Sean Bibinet. Did I know you were into wrestling? Are you into wrestling?
Bro, what?
What?
I did like 8 Wrestling Today's topics at Cracked, bro. What? Bro, how have we never talked about? I went to WWE stuff with our costume designer. Remember our costume designer, Alex?
Yeah.
She and I went to WWE events, man.
Kidding me?
We high-fived for hours.
Have I ever told you that I was it? I've told you that.
Yes. We've never yet found a way to talk about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we've never found a way to monetize these facts.
Wow. I need you.
Okay, you ready for a story? You clearly want one.
I guess.
Here you go, bro. 2001. My brother and I bought tickets to the Raw after WrestleMania. Okay. This is the WrestleMania where The Rock lost to Triple H. It was horseshit. So The Rock comes out. Everything's great. Then Vince McMahon comes out. Now, Vince McMahon's terrible.
Yeah.
Just putting that aside. He's also wonderful. Let's be honest. Came out. First thing he said for most of you, life sucks, and then you die.
You know what? That's kind of brutal honesty that you come to see.
Yeah. The place was like transcendent with booze. Like booze were raining from the heavens like lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Except for 2 people. Myself and my brother. Yeah. Who were cheering for him because it was incredible what he was doing. Yeah. And like we had like little children looking at us like, what are you doing, man? Like just like,
and you're like,
he's
it's
bad.
true.
He's bad. That's what I should
Yeah. Life.
That's what I should. Look, kid, you got to cheer for the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm old. You're young.
Get ready to get exploited.
Yeah.
No, but we were cheering, and so these kids like felt betrayed by like the fabric of reality.
Yeah.
And they realized it's funny.
Yeah.
This whole thing's been funny this whole time.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
Key.
I've talked about it before.
You unlocked their brain.
That's right. I've been doing it for 20 years. I don't really watch it anymore, but in its heyday, I definitely watch it. Anyway, thanks so much to Rye Wyke who brought all of that to us. Thanks to Sean Bibinet, as we said, and meant it.
And meant it.
Thanks to Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks to Platypus Gestapo. Who apparently is friends with a person I know.
Whoa.
I know. I got a text about it this afternoon.
Did you ever get recognized?
I've been recognized twice. The first time I was at a bank. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Get ready.
Okay.
I was depositing my severance check from Cracked. I'm not kidding.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And they were like,
yeah. No, this is how it went. Okay. I'm like depositing. I have the check and I'm like pretty upset. Like this was a bad time.
Yeah.
Like it happened that day.
Oh God.
Okay. So like I'm going to the bank because they gave us a fucking check.
Oh my God.
So I have to deposit the check and the teller's doing this.
I can't take it. You're giving me a face.
Staring at me like I'm an alien.
Yeah.
And then I come up, I'm like, here's the thing. And he's like, you ever heard of cracked.com? Like, I've heard of Cracked, yes. It's like, you ever been on it? He did that. I'm like, yes, I work at Cracked. Is that what you're asking me?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Oh my God. I hope he's listening. I hope he's listening.
I hope he is
like,
too, man. I was not very warm. Honestly, I'm not that warm
you
anyway.
Had a lot going. It's all understandable.
I'm not that warm anyway.
Yeah,
I'm like
true.
a little bit of a like, don't approach me just assuming. You know what I mean?
True.
That was an especially not warm interaction. But that's why. And it wasn't because I hated him.
Right.
It was more like, please don't make me talk about Crack today. Because you're going to hear things you don't want to hear, man. You know what I mean?
It's like anyway, you can't write that kind of writing.
It was awful.
Tell you
it was fucking awful. I also ran into on the next trip I was there at the bank, I ran into a person who had worked with me 20 years before at Blockbuster. Yeah, this bank was like fucking magic for stories. So I don't know what's going on over there. Anyway, apparently I know a person who knows this person. I guess we're going to keep this in the podcast. Right. We'll see. We'll see if I acknowledge it. Thanks to Joel Harper.
Thank you, Joel Harper.
Thanks to Garrett Cooper.
Garrett Cooper.
I love Garrett Cooper. Sliding into our DMs.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Yeah. Sending us love notes.
I'm glad that you love him back.
I do love him back. Yeah. Sending us love notes. You know, it's writing us once a day, every day for a year. Thanks to Benjamin Egan, who has not returned my love letters.
Well, you win one, you lose one.
Usually one after the other.
Yeah.
That's how this bit goes. Thanks to Christopher Quattroce. Quattroce, I think.
That's fun to say.
Yeah. It's fun to be, I bet.
I bet.
This guy's probably just surfing into reality, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He surfs everywhere.
You think he tosses money at people?
Yeah. Like at the end of the.
Yeah, you think he's like tossing coins?
Yeah.
He leaves a restaurant he likes. He just throws a handful of coins in the air. That's who I think he is too. Also wears a cape.
Yeah.
Just both things. Yeah.
And a hat. Tall hat.
Cape with coin toss. That guy's a
Can't have one without the other.
local hero. Yeah. Thanks to Christina Ruiz,
Christina.
aka
Breezy.
Love you, Breeze. Thanks to Kyle Schrotel.
Beep, beep.
You always find one.
And,
Thanks to Faye Inaway.
Faye Inaway.
Beep, beep. Thanks to Daniel Christensen. Thanks to Taylor Carriage. This is your favorite.
I do like it.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before on the podcast, but at the place I went to undergrad, they would name the houses around that people would, and they'd pass it along to the next students or whatever.
Like, okay, what kind of names? What are we talking about? Like Deer House or
Xanadu, Fireball
like Manners
Island.
and shit.
Yeah. One of them was the coach house because it literally was an old coach house.
Where the coach used to live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you assume what? Taylor Carriage was born there?
Yeah.
And that's where Taylor Carriage was born.
Taylor Carriage was born.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Didn't know we knew that? Well, we did, Taylor Carriage. Thanks to Adamantium Jello. And finally, but certainly not least in any of our hearts, thank you to Dave Ruff. Ruff. Yeah. You probably don't get that ever. So,
I hope that's not your real name because I bet you do get that all the time, probably.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do with that name? You get named Dave Ruff. How do you live your life? I don't know. You just punch a guy if he does it in a room? I
feel like everyone has something about their name that people
it's not ideal.
Extrapolate.
But like if I'm getting barked at every day, is it prison rules at that point?
Yes.
Do I have to
Absolutely.
if I get barked at in a room, I pick one person who did it, punch him in the nose, straight in the nose.
Yeah.
Let him know. My bark and my bite both hurt, bro.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did it right.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm just picturing people trying to hit on you and doing that over and over and over and over.
Hit on
and over
like
again.
ooh, rough.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like that's a sexy line.
Yeah. Absolutely. People would do that.
That's
if
born out of
was a woman.
That comes from the fucking day planner of idiot men.
Yes. Yes.
I can't imagine a single woman ever doing that.
True.
I'm sure there is one, but I really have a hard time imagining it.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, there's one of every kind, but
What's a good way to weed themselves out?
That's true. Actually, if you're the woman who would bark at somebody to hit on them,
let us know.
Please let us know.
Yeah, send us an email. Excuse me.
Please let us know.
I've done some pretty embarrassing things, but I would never do that.
No. You're like, if I had to pick one person that I knew, it would be you. That would do it.
Probably.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're working your way up to it.
How can I spin that?
Working your way up to it. Anyway, Mags, we've done a good 7 hours together today.
Oh, we did. It was a fun day.
We started making this a whole event every time we record these podcasts.
Well, it's also because I know we're very busy people. Yeah. But it is also fun to carve out just a day.
I love a good hang day.
Yeah. And also we've been wanting to hang out with Will for a while.
That's
so
right.
Nice
it finally worked out. How did Elden Ring go? Did you like it?
I rode around on the horsey and then gave up.
But you got the horse.
Yeah.
Okay. So you did all right. You did all right. I think we should all celebrate that that Will
the horse was
found Torrent, the mount from Elden Ring.
Wow.
Not the easiest thing to find.
Wow.
Perhaps the lands between are beckoning, my friend. Okay. You could buy Elden Ring. You don't have to come here for it. They have it elsewhere.
Can we not have it?
I won't buy it.
They're not buying it.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No, all right.
Well, for the rest of you also can play Elden Ring.
Yeah, you can.
Don't let me be the one to
Go
stop
get that
you.
horse.
Yeah. Go find the mount. All right, bye.
This has been a Small Beans endeavor. We're a bunch of pals who make podcasts, sketches, music, web series, and movies. The Beans always have new ideas percolating, so make sure to check us out at patreon.com/smallbeans. That's patreon.com/smallbeans, where you can browse all of our current and past content, see what we've got planned in the future, and learn how your support can help the small beans grow into huge, giant monster beans. If you enjoyed this content module, please like, rate, subscribe, or tell a friend about us. We love you!